The following books, stories, plays, poems, or limericks you will hear on Right Time Radio are the intellectual property of the writers and authors mentioned. Any copying, recording, or reproduction of this work is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of the author. The content of this show is the individual expression of the author and does not necessarily reflect the views of the owner of this radio station.
It's the right time for Right Time Radio. I'm Tom.
And I'm Lynn Donovan.
Today, right here live in the studio, we have Jean Marie Alfieri. Say, well, good morning, Jean.
Good morning. How are you?
Good and excited to hear. Hey, moms and dads, if your kids aren't by the radio, go get them, because it is going to be a fun hour at Right Time Radio. We have Zuggy the Pug in the studio. And he's going to be reading the... Oh, ouch. Carrie.
Down.
Carrie. Oh, I thought that was you barking at me. So Zuggy wants to tell us all about his adventures, and actually Jean is going to be reading for him today because Zuggy didn't want to show off his radio voice.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
But these are great poetic stories, and you're going to get lots of laughs. So go get your kids, and they're going to really enjoy these great stories about Zuggy the Pug. And Lynn, why don't you tell us a little bit about Jean Marie Alfieri?
Jean is such a neat person, just to begin with, without even starting the bio. But her name is Jean Marie, and she's a native of Chicago, but we won't hold that against you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was born in Chicago, too.
It's not a bad place.
In Berwyn.
We won't hold that against you either.
All right.
How about that? Hey.
All y'all Yankees,
Texans.
I swear.
Chicago, a suburb of South Bend.
Oh,
right.
That's rather egotistical and ethnocentric.
I'm surrounded by Yankees. Oh no. And has always had a special fondness for dogs, no matter where she lived. Illinois, Indiana, Texas, Wisconsin.
Illinois for you Texans, okay?
Yeah, sorry. And Wisconsin and Arizona. She and her fur family currently reside in Colorado, where she and her husband are dedicated to rescuing vintage puppies, also known as older dogs. Rescued is their favorite breed. Zuggy, his pen name, was adopted by Jean Marie when he was 5 years old. Zuggy's real name is undisclosed to the media. He prefers to keep a low profile so he can move freely in public. I totally understand that.
Yes.
Without worry.
You have that problem, too.
We really do. Can't go to the grocery store. Always have to wear your makeup.
Can I have your autograph, Lynn? Can I have your autograph?
You're that author. All right, without worry of being swarmed by adoring fans and paparazzi.
Dum-dum. See what I did there?
You can find Jean Marie's books on, you can learn more about her on Facebook, Instagram, and their website. You can go to follow at Jean Alfieri, that's JeanAlfieri, or you can go to at Zuggy the Pug, ZUGGYTHEPUG.
That's a lot easier to remember.
It is, and by popularity, he needed his own website. So,
exactly.
There we go.
He's so smart. I had so much trouble getting our own website, and he just has one. But your books are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, correct?
Correct.
Is there any other location?
Through my website, there are the ones that I individually self-published as well. And right now, Six Tales is what is available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. The collection I'm reading for you today is from different books that are going to be available this fall and early next year. And there's a teaser for the one that's actually available now on Amazon.
Yeah, just wait. Now, what is your website?
So my website is JeanAlfieri.com.
Okay. Very easy.
JEAN, capital ALF like in Frank, IERI.
Yeah, Alfieri, just like it sounds.
Yes.
I say that because it's taken me a week to learn how to say it right. I fess
We're laughing
up.
at you, not with you,
I
Lynn.
fess up. Yes, I understand. All right, well, listen, guys, seriously, you are in for such a treat today. We have been having so much fun rehearsing these and getting through them. And so we are going to start with several different stories, and she's going to let us know what they are before she starts them. But they are Zuggy the Pug by Jean Marie Alfieri. Take it away, Jean.
Thank you. The first one is Zuggy the Pug, Flying High, and this is from the collection titled Fantastic Five. The kids were out of school, Zuggy's favorite day. Places to go, people to see. This was Saturday. The kids were getting ready to head over to the park. Can Zuggy go? Asked Pearl. Of course, said Zuggy's bark. Mom agreed and said yes, too. Zuggy jumped for joy. Be sure to watch him closely. Make sure he's a good boy. Roy and Pearl raced outside. They had a brand new kite. The day was nice and windy, the temperature just right. Roy wanted to go first, so Pearl let him play. But when Pearl wanted her turn, Roy pulled the kite away. Come on, Roy, Pearl huffed. You're not playing fair. Roy ran by her with the kite. He didn't seem to care. Zuggy panted in the shade. Roy should finish soon. They were due to be back home. Lunch would be at noon. With just 10 minutes left, Pearl had to use her head. She tried to swipe the kite, catching only wind instead. Roy had seen her coming and quickly turned away. I'm not giving you the kite. I don't care what you say. Pearl swiped again. This time she got the kite. She ran as fast as she could go and swoosh! It was in flight. Roy chased after her and the lofty kite, pulled harder by the wind. It was almost out of sight. Something seemed a little off, so Zuggy gave chase too. Why were they tussling? Zuggy didn't have a clue. Oh no! Shouted Pearl. The string slipped from her fingers. Zuggy knew she needed help. There was no time to linger. Zuggy jumped into the air. He barely caught the string. With his teeth he held on tight. He dragged along, then zing! Zuggy lifted off the ground. He was flying high. Pearl couldn't catch him. Come back! He heard her cry. Zuggy soared into the sky. How would he ever stop? Zuggy watched the town below. He held tight so not to drop. Quite a view, he thought. That looks like Rover's house. The big black lab in his yard looked smaller than a mouse. Ms. May was hanging laundry, and over at the school, hot dogs grilled for the game. He began to drool. I'm missing out on lunch. Zuggy looked around. I must avoid that forest, or I never will be found. Zuggy looked up as an airplane zoomed right by. A kid in the window waved. He was trying to say hi. What next? Wondered Zuggy. He didn't have to wait too long. 3 birds flew by to visit, tweeting their sweet songs. Zuggy had to face it. He might drift for days. He looked around again and realigned his gaze. The wind began to slow. The kite began to fall. Zuggy saw his own house, but he was headed for the wall. This isn't good, said Zuggy. He gave the kite a tug. If I crash into the wall, I'll be one hurtin' pug. The kids were chasing Zuggy, and when he lowered slightly, Roy jumped up and nabbed him and hugged and squeezed him tightly. Roy and Pearl were so excited, they danced around with glee. Zuggy was excited too. He couldn't wait to pee.
That is
I am so glad that he did wait, though, because I
Yes.
was thinking about him airborne and doing that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be good.
Yes.
Is it raining? These stories were dedicated to some very interesting and special people to you, Jean. Can
Yes.
you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the dedication is to kids of all ages, lovers of poetry, dog lovers, and those blessed with the good fortune of ever being loved by a pug. They're a special breed of dog.
Yes.
To the staff and supporters of rescue shelters worldwide that provide homeless animals a second chance at life. I actually volunteer at the Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region as well. And to my husband and son for their loving support and great material, because, right, all of this stuff has to come from somewhere.
right.
They're great. They
Right.
provide some
What
great
you
material. Yep.
And one of those, the future stories we're going to hear is
Today.
Yes.
Was
All about my
Inspired
son.
by your son.
Yes,
Inspired by
exactly.
his son.
It was an incredible 6th grade. So, yeah, I captured that too. And of course, to mom and dad and my brothers for their prayers and encouragement. And to Wyatt, he still inspires me. That was my first pug.
Oh, that is so sweet.
All right, we will be back with more exciting adventures of Zuggy the Pug or Puggy the Zug. I'm really getting confused.
I think it's Zuggy the Pug, Tom.
All right, I can't wait. Let's if you don't have your kids now, go get them. We'll be right back.
And just wanted to mention, too, she's got a Facebook page with Zuggy the Pug, which we posted a link to on our Facebook page. So if you want to see who she's talking about, check it out.
He's right
Our
there.
guest
Thank
is
you,
Gene
Carrie.
Alfieri. We'll be right back.
Are you at a dead-end job or need a new career? Check out the WIOA program. This program can assist eligible individuals to obtain training in various in-demand industries. What's an in-demand industry? Healthcare, construction, commercial truck driving, law enforcement, hospitality, technology, and more. Some trainings are just 4 weeks, and then you're into a career you love. Come see us at the Canyon City Workforce Center or visit uawioa.com, uawioa.com, and apply for the WIOA program today.
This week on the Lutheran Hour, name recognition involves identification, reputation, and admiration. Dr. Michael Ziegler tells how the Apostles' Creed expresses these three elements and helps us get to know God better. Join Dr. Ziegler and his guests this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour is brought to you each week by St. John's Lutheran Church. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on 1400 KRLN. Jim's Tire and Alignment stocks tires for all of your recreational and outdoor equipment. Jim's Tire huge inventory means no waiting on tires for trailers, campers, fifth wheels, and ATVs. Whether you need tires for tractors, riding mowers, or any small equipment, Jim's has it all. Jim's Tire and Alignment. Quality, price, and service. Taking care of you and your vehicle for 40 years. Jim's Tire and Alignment Service, 1005 South 9th Street in Canyon City.
KRLN weather, sunny, hot, and breezy today with southwest winds at 10 to 15. The high today around 98. Mostly cloudy this evening, then partly cloudy overnight, the low near 61. Mostly sunny and hot again tomorrow. 40% chance of a late day thunderstorm. High tomorrow around 95. 60 degrees our low this morning after a high of 94 yesterday. Currently at the Weather Center, 89 degrees.
Radio 1400.
We are back with Right Time Radio, and we want to take a little moment here to thank Fremont Regional Hospice for sponsoring us. We appreciate you guys so much. We've even said so on our website. And now we are going to go into another amazing story about Zuggy the Pug. And I love this one, and I'll tell you after she's finished reading it why it is so dear to me. Take it away, Jean.
Thank you. Zuggy the Pug, Fuzzy Slipper. This is from the collection titled Four on the Floor. Could it be by chance, though it is probably not, that one fuzzy slipper goes missing quite a lot? Mom blames it on Zuggy, but he is just a pug, not a master criminal or a lowly thug. It once appeared on the couch where Zuggy shouldn't go. Though he'd love to nap there, he'd never stoop so low. Another time that slipper showed up in the yard. Zuggy claimed his innocence, but proving it was hard. Zuggy's eyes told Mom, I swear I didn't do it. She glared at him and warned, you really have to quit it. Zuggy knew it wasn't him, but how to find out who? He'd have to play detective and follow every clue. Zuggy settled into watch. He was home alone all day. He'd guard those fuzzy slippers. They'd never get away. Suddenly, he woke up. When did he fall asleep? A slipper was gone missing. He could almost weep. Zuggy sprang to action. He smelled slipper in the air. He bolted down the hallway and flew right down the stairs. Where are you, fuzzy slipper? Zuggy asked aloud. I will search the whole house through. I'll find you, Zuggy vowed. Zuggy thought of suspects. Who could be so bold? Then he stopped and turned around. The trail had gone cold. Zuggy caught a glimpse from the corner of his eye, a blur of fuzzy slipper. That thing could really fly. Zuggy raced around the corner, and there the culprit sat. He should have known it all along. It was the big orange cat.
Knew it was the cat.
Aha, caught you in the act, Zuggy proudly said. Whatever do you mean? The cat burglar shook her head. Zuggy gave the cat a glare. She dare not give him flack. Up the stairs she slowly went to put the slipper back.
Uh-huh. I have a Yorkshire Terrier that is not a teacup, he's a teapot.
Oh, boy.
Which means he's over 10 pounds. He's more like 14 or 16 pounds, and he's so fat he looks like a pug. But he loves my slippers.
Okay.
Loves them. And if I'm ever missing one, I know he's taking it. And generally, it's right at the doggy door. Because he gets to the doggy door, and then he realizes he can't get out the doggy door with it in his mouth. So he drops it. So that's usually where I always find my shoes.
Well, and we were talking earlier, why do they make toys that look like slippers when you're just encouraging the dog to do bad
play
behavior?
with
Right.
the very thing you don't want them to play with. I've
Exactly.
always said that.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Let's roll right into another one. These are really fun.
They are.
And
This
if I
next
didn't know
one-
better, I'd make another pun.
Oh, you're so funny. This next one is hysterical.
All right. So this one is a tag team, actually. Zuggy and Zoe. Zoe is Zuggy's little sister. So we'll see where she comes into play here.
And can we talk about this on the radio? Well, you'll see what I mean. We gotta keep it family
All
friendly.
right, here we go. Doo-doo dilemma.
Oh, button carry.
Yes, we can talk about doo-doo.
Okay.
And just so you know, we have a song about doo-doo.
Do we?
Do you? You do.
Lobo Road?
Doobie-doo?
Oh, definitely.
You be doo-doo.
All right.
Go
Well,
ahead.
Uh,
this is the poem.
Zuggy and Zoe, doo-doo dilemma. A glorious day to walk. To Zuggy they all are. Flowers blooming, sun shining, the best spring day so far. Pearl commands his leash, and Roy walks close behind. With Zuggy's sister Zoe, she is mostly blind. Zoe never stays on course. She wanders here and there, then trips Roy with her leash. They make quite a pair. So far the walk is going well. They chat about their day. This is my last chore, says Roy. Then I'm staying out to play. Pearl says, I'm going to build a fortress in the sand. She turns back to Roy. Want to offer me a hand? Then smack dab in the middle of the sidewalk, Zoe dumps. Roy looks around for a bag into which he'll put the clumps. He realizes with horror that he is out of bags. The stink is overwhelming. It almost makes him gag. Roy looks over at Pearl, hoping she will have a few, but he is out of luck. Her bags have vanished too. The local police patrol slowly cruises by. As he rolls down the window, Sergeant Sam gives them the eye. You'll be picking that up, he calls over to them. Yes, sure, of course, Roy haws and hems. Roy and Pearl gave a wave as the sergeant drove away. The number 2 was still there, much to their dismay. There they all stood staring at the stinky pile. Pearl took out her phone. She began to dial. We can't leave this here, Roy said, rubbing his chin. Are you calling Mom? He felt a bit chagrined. Yes, but there's no answer. Pearl pocketed her phone. Then her leash gave a tug. Across the street, Zuggy roamed. Pearl was resisting. Zuggy tugged like a bull. Where are you going? He just continued to pull. Pearl called over to Roy. Maybe he has an idea. Let me see where he goes. In a few minutes, we'll see ya. Just 2 houses down, the walk not even long, they marched up to the porch, heard the chimes' gentle song. Pearl looked at Zuggy, and he looked at her. There was a cat in the window. She began to purr. Pearl crouched next to Zuggy. She let out a sigh. You decided on this house, but I don't know why. At last she rang the doorbell, and to her delight, her art teacher answered. What a comforting sight. Pearl pointed and explained the problem they now had. Standing by the pile of poop, Roy and Zoe looked so sad. The teacher fetched a bag, and they were on their way. Zuggy strutting for the world. Once again, he'd saved the day.
Yay! I have to to tell you this one part in here where Zuggy pulled like a bull.
Yes.
I have a miniature dachshund. The very first time we put her on a leash and took her out into the street, she stood up on her hind legs and walked. Because she was so excited that she was pulling on the leash so taut that she walked on her hind legs. Quite a ways.
Wow.
And we were like, we need to get one of those leashes that keeps them from doing this.
Right. Well, and it's funny you mentioned that because in the Six Tales book, which is available now on Amazon, there's my little plug.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
There is a story about, it's called Unlucky Step. It's actually my favorite of the Six Tales in there. And it is, of course, the true story of when Zuggy decided, and pugs are stubborn anyway.
Yes.
This was his walk, and he was going to go where he wanted, and off the sidewalk he went and into a pile of poop.
Oh, nice.
It's slightly frozen, and it clung to his paw like a slipper.
Yeah.
And so, exactly. We have the motion of shaking and wiggling going on here. That's exactly what happened.
That is too funny.
Yeah, there are many funny walk stories, as dog owners will tell you, all the adventures that happen.
And so, Carrie, have you got a song?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Lobo Loggins and Shane Roberts got together, and I had been wanting to write a song about pick your poop up off the sidewalks and river walks around here, and because the city has trouble with that. That's the most complaints they get, believe it or not.
Wow.
So for
Not
years,
for me, we pick ours up.
yeah, well, thank you for that, and thank all of you that do that. But some of you that don't, it's very unpleasant to be on the Riverwalk or even on some of the trails around that.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, so I tasked them with it this year, and this is what they come up with.
Oh,
so,
boy.
and right after that, we're going to take a break. So listen in.
Blue Puddle.
This is the Poo Poo Blues here in Canyon City, thanks to Lobo Loggins and Shane Roberts.
Yeah.
We love Canyon City with a tilde on top. Our town is so pretty. Take your dog for a walk through the hawkbacks of Main Street or any park. When you're out with your doggy, we know they will bark. When you walk with your puppy, remember the scoop. When Rover goes potty, pick up their poop. Get out with your family, and please take your pup. But when he goes potty, please clean it up.
Have you ever seen a raft rodeo? Ever been to kayak races or listened to live music along a river walk? Have you ever tried French, Italian, Thai, Japanese, Mexican, Chinese, or Indian food? Or strolled along the longest intact historical downtown in the U.S.? Or walked across the highest bridge in the country, America's Bridge at the Royal Gorge? How about taking a historical self-guided walking tour? More than 8 to choose from. You're going to want to stay a while. Take your time, eat, drink, and join us in celebrating all things Fremont County.
New Horizons Thrift Store in Canyon City is celebrating 14 years of offering bargains to the community. Clothing, shoes, and accessories for the entire family. Housewares, hardware, sporting goods, furniture, food, and more. You're invited to New Horizons annual open house sale on Saturday, June 29th from 9 to 5. The entire store will be 50% off, drawings for great door prizes every half hour, and free lunch from 11 till 2. New Horizons Thrift Store, 3170 East Main. Your support helps to make a difference in the lives of children and our community.
Indian Springs Ranch and Campground is considered one of the best campgrounds in southern Colorado. Many folks travel from as far as Denver and Boulder just to camp and use the swimming facility. As a matter of fact, the pool is surrounded by twisted cedar, pinyon, and scrub oak, which provides somewhat of a private setting at just $5 per person. Call 719-372-3907 for more information. Indian Springs Ranch and Campground, 3257 County Road 67 in Penrose.
To Right Time Radio with Jean Alfieri. And she's going to read another Zuggy the Pug. So, dog lovers, cat lovers, you can turn it off. But,
I'm a cat lover. I am enjoying this.
I think cat lovers would love this too. After all, the cat was in the other story.
You see, I grew up with dogs, but now I have 2 cats.
Now you have 2 cats who love you dearly.
You
And
love
pugs,
animals.
believe it or not, pugs' attitudes are more like cats.
They
than-
really are.
Yeah.
They're a little stubborn, a little silly. Yeah.
Independent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well,
they're
are
great.
we ready for another one?
I'm ready.
All right. Jean is here with another story of Zuggy.
And this one's from the collection of 4 on the Floor. It's called Zuggy the Pug, Foiled Again. Zuggy knew it was coming. He could feel it in the air. He could tell the way Mom called him. He could see it in her stare. Come over here, she smiled. He pretended not to hear. Zuggy walked the other way, as if Mom wasn't clear. Mom wasn't sure how he knew, but Zuggy had a sense. It was time to dash outside and run over to the fence. That's just what Zuggy did. He flew out the back door. He hid behind the flowers, but Mom wouldn't be ignored. She came calling with a treat. Mom knew a trick or two. Here, Zuggy, it's your favorite. It smelled like beefy stew. Zuggy stepped a little closer. His sniffer twitched like mad. Trust me, pleaded Mom. This won't be so bad. When she least expected, he nabbed the treat and squirmed. He slid right through her arms like a wiggly little worm. On the run again, Mom in hot pursuit. Back in the house they raced. Zuggy had to scoot. He ran around the table. He toppled over chairs. He zipped under the couch and headed for the stairs. Mom tried her best to block him. Zuggy just squeezed past. He had to find a place to hide. He had to find it fast. Mom paused to catch her breath. Zuggy did the same. Why must we always do this? Mom laughed. It's just insane. Zuggy sprinted up the stairs, but Mom had beat him there. Somehow she had tricked him. That was hardly fair. Mom scooped him off his feet. Down the hallway they both went. Zuggy kicked and squirmed. He knew what all this meant. Zuggy dreaded bath time, and they were headed for the tub. He'd soon be bathed in foamy soap, getting the rub-a-dub. Ah, a scratch behind his ears. Ooh, a tickle on his tummy. This wasn't so bad at all. In fact, it was quite funny. Mom hauled him from the tub. He gave a mighty shake. Mom ducked her head for cover, but stood standing in a lake. Zuggy felt fresh and clean. Mom patted Zuggy dry. After he put up such a fuss, he couldn't think of why. Any dog owner will tell you, right? That's how it goes.
I told you I grew up as a dog person. When the thing that we always forgot to do was close the bathroom door, because as soon as they're done and they shake, they tear off the door.
Yes.
Man, they
Go outside and rub in the dirt.
Right, thank you. Yes.
No, we didn't let them out to do that either. But I don't understand why baths do that to them.
Oh, my
They
gosh.
just like are turbocharged.
It's the ordeal.
Just like me.
Right, see?
Do you fight like that to take a bath, Tom?
Not gonna say. All right, and is that the Six Tails one? Or is that?
That one is actually from 4 on the Floor,
Four
which
on
is
the
coming
Floor.
out later this fall. I've got 2 here. I've got Rough Day, which is going to be from a different collection, and then I've got a teaser from Six Tails.
Okay, before we get to Rough Day, when you got the remember that Six Tails is available, right?
Yes, Six Tails available
So-
on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
If you can't, now aren't these the greatest stories to read? Oh, what we can't show on the radio is all the great illustrations. Your illustrator, I read her name.
Alexandra Ruiz. She does a great job.
Yeah.
She's been fantastic for me, and it's just such a great partnership too. It's beautiful when you're blessed with the right people at the right time to make things come together. And she is a dog lover. You can tell in her illustrations. So yes.
Is she local?
She is not local.
Okay.
No.
And when you go to the website and you just gotta go get on Amazon and take a look. Do you have any of the pictures on the website?
I do. Yes.
Okay, just to get a feel for it, because they're excellently done.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you.
done.
When we were rehearsing, I made her show me the pictures. Your kindergarten teacher, and this is Zuggy. And
Right.
shows it to all the kids.
Yes.
And where the dog helped Zuggy
Yes.
he held the leg up because he couldn't,
Right. It was belly
It was
blues.
very tastefully
We'll get to
drawn,
that
is
one.
what I'm
We
trying
will.
to say. It was
We'll get
very
to that one.
tastefully drawn.
Tricky and tasteful. Yes.
Yeah, there. You go to the website or the
Very
Facebook
good.
page, and you
Yeah.
can see some of the illustrations. Really
Jerry's
well
showing
done.
us the Facebook page
And
now.
moms,
for
if
the
you got
website.
kids,
Awesome.
They're going to love this. This is a good bedtime story.
Cute.
Except it might get them fired up and not go to sleep. I don't know.
They're easy reader rhymers, so they're good for kids if they're just starting out with poetry to learn the language, and also great for parents and grandparents to read to their kids, anybody that loves reading to children.
I can see, when kids get older, they're going to look back and go, oh, I remember Zuggy.
Right. Yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
And Jean has gifted us with a book that if we have time, she's going to read from today. And it's such a timely thing for her to give it to us. It's called Zuggy the Rescue Pug Bellyache Blues. And my 4-year-old twin grandsons are coming to see me next week. So I am cherishing this gift from
Wonderful.
you, Jean. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And I'll Facebook you and let you know how that went.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate all the feedback. Yep.
Let's get to the next one, which is Rough Day.
Rough Day. This is the one when we talked about. It was a compilation of my son's entire 6th grade year. So here we go. Zuggy the Rescue Pug, Rough Day. Roy came home and slammed the door. He was in a huff. No one ever told him 6th grade would be so tough. Zuggy rushed to greet him. He barked and wagged his tail. Roy didn't even notice, but Zuggy wouldn't fail. He didn't know the problem, but he could always tell. The long face and sad eyes, Zuggy knew his boy so well. Since he left that morning, the day had gotten worse. It started with the bully and ended with the nurse. Gotta go, Roy chanted in his head. Why do I have such trouble getting out of bed? The bully on the bus wouldn't leave him alone. From the moment he sat down, Roy wished to be back home. He stared out the window. Why does he joke that way? Roy thought to himself, I can't deal with this today. Being bullied every day felt like such a curse. He knew he should tell Dad before it got much worse. Roy took his seat in class. Behind him, the class pest kept kicking at his chair until Miss K returned their tests. Roy was sure he'd aced it, but received a big red D. He sat in stunned silence. How did this happen to me? Roy had missed his breakfast since he'd woken up too late. In his rush, he forgot his lunch. When was it he last ate? The bell rang to move on. His favorite class was gym. Roy, the king of dodgeball, could do nothing less than win. The whistle blew to start. He raced right into play. Roy dodged a couple balls, but this was not his day. He slipped running backward, tried to find some safe place. He scrambled to his feet and got drilled in the face. A wad of paper towels he held to his nose. Mom is gonna kill me. He looked down at bloodied clothes. When his nosebleed stopped, the nurse sent him home, where Zuggy sat staring like a cute garden gnome. Not now, Roy mumbled. Zuggy tilted his head. Yes, we should play now, is what Zuggy thought he said. Zuggy knew just the thing. He brought Roy a ball. He loved when Roy would toss it and it bounced along the hall. Zuggy would scamper, almost pinning it down. Then he'd overrun it and skid around like a clown. Roy ignored the ball. Zuggy dropped at his feet. He barked up at Roy and then took a seat. Zuggy moved to plan B. Roy would come around soon. Zuggy fetched Fuzzy Lion, but Roy had sulked to his room. Zuggy peeked in the door. Roy sat on his bed. Zuggy jumped up in hopes he'd get a pet on the head. Zuggy considered plan C. Maybe they'd go for a walk? Instead, he lay down by Roy. That's when Roy started to talk. I'm sure that no one has had such a bad day. I'm going to drop out of school. There's no other way. Roy gushed every detail of his miserable day. The love in Zuggy's eyes said all he needed to say. He gave Roy a lick right on the nose. Some days are like this. It's just how it goes. Woof, woof, said Zuggy. Roy nodded his head. You're right, Roy smiled. Remember what Dad said. Dad said it builds character to have some bad days. It helps you to help others in so many ways. Roy thought about advice his father gave him. The future is bright, even when it looks dim. Talk to someone. It'll help you feel better. Or write it all down in a notebook or letter. If you understand what a friend has been through, you can listen to them. They could listen to you. Roy took a deep breath. He felt calmer already. Zuggy started to snore, soft and low and steady. His head on the pillow, Roy closed his eyes. He could smell dinner, his favorite chicken pot pie. Zuggy snuggled in closer. He loved this plan best. Naps were his specialty. Everyone needs rest. Roy woke up and stretched. He was feeling okay. He had a good life. This was just a rough day. Zuggy brought him the ball. Roy chuckled and said, "Okay, let's do this. Don't fall on your head." Zuggy gave chase as it bounced down the hall. He slid right past it and thumped his butt on the wall. Mom called, "Time to wash hands." Down to dinner they raced. Tomorrow was a new day Roy was ready to face.
Oh, I like that
Awesome.
one a lot.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
All right. Well, we have time for one more before the commercial, and then one after the commercial, I believe.
Fantastic.
So, now this is the teaser one. And
This
this is the published one. So
Yes.
you can go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble and grab this one. And she does kind of, well, I'm not going to say. Just read it.
Okay, here we go. This is from Zuggy the Pug, 6 Tales. Baker's Dozen. Every day was good. This Sunday was the best. His people went to church. Zuggy stayed home to rest. Then they all returned with a box of luscious treats. Sweet, sumptuous goodness. That smell was hard to beat. Dad brought them to the counter and opened up the box. For Zuggy to score a donut, he'd be sneaky like a fox. Brown ones with sprinkles, shiny ones with jelly, long ones and twisted ones. Zuggy wants one in his belly. His mouth started watering. He gave a long, loud howl. "Zuggy, stop drooling." Mom wiped his chin with a towel. Dad grabbed a big round donut. He filled his coffee mug. He turned and tripped on Zuggy, that tricky little pug. The donut tumbled to the floor. Zuggy pounced that Boston cream. Surprised at what happened next, custard squirted in a stream. It covered Zuggy's face. Frantically he licked. Mom swiped with her towel. She was there right quick. She nabbed the deflated pastry out from under Zuggy's paw. Mom was sure the tricky one, that was the last of it he saw. Oh, glorious donut day. How could poor Zuggy miss out? If he couldn't get a fritter, he'd just go outside and pout. Zuggy paced and waited, not willing to give up. Someone would give in. He was their favorite pup. Will Zuggy get a donut? Find out on Zuggy the Pug, 6 Tales, available now at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
Left us in suspense.
Doggone, I wanted to know.
And I wanted a donut.
Yeah, now I'm hungry for donuts.
All right.
Hey, listen, if you want to be like Jean and be on our show or have your writing on our show, we really want you to send us something at righttimeradio@gmail.com. That's WRITE. We're very serious authors. Come on
authors, it's a blast. You know you want to do it.
We're a
You
lot
don't
of
have
fun.
to read your own stuff, but because we have plenty of great narrators, as you've heard in past weeks. We're on every Friday at 10 a.m. So please submit.
Yeah, and if you're not sure if you have something that you think we would want, give us, email us, let us know, because we'll talk to you about it and we'll figure out whether it can work or it won't. Don't be scared to at least ask.
Yeah, be bold and courageous. All right, let's take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Right Time Radio.
We will.
Gorge Radio's AM 1400 KRLN and Star Country 104.5 FM. And we, along with Fremont and Royal Gorge area businesses, proudly present our Customer Appreciation Day we call Money Day.
Hey, y'all, this is Chelsea Lynn inviting you to join me every Tuesday afternoon at 2:30 for your chance to win your share of free money.
That's right, a little cold hard cash could be yours. To win, simply be registered and present at one of these Money Day store locations.
Prospect Heights Mercantile Store, Oak Creek Grade Road, Canyon City. Canyon City Brews and Bikes, 224 Main Street. And Kaleidoscope Inspiration, 115 North 5th Street, Canyon City.
So visit a Money Day store location, pick up a registration card, fill it out and get it back to Royal Gorge Radio. Or go online at RoyalGorgeRadio.com to find out more. Then every Tuesday afternoon at 2:30, be at a Money Day store location. Listen for your name, hear your name, and call 276-0331 within 60 seconds to claim your cash. From Fremont County and Royal Gorge area businesses, AM 1400 KRLN and Star Country 104.5.
Flashback on Main Street is back. Our new and improved date is July 6th. It's a free block party in downtown Canyon City. Drive your cool cars down for the car show and listen to the rock and AC/DC tribute band, Hell's Bells. Main Street will be rocking all night long. Gates open at 3 and it's free! July 6th, a party for all of Fremont County. Fremont Community Foundation, working hard to give back to Fremont County.
KRLN weather, sunny, hot, and breezy today. The high around 98. Mostly cloudy this evening, then becoming partly cloudy overnight with a low near 61. Mostly sunny and hot tomorrow. 40% chance of late-day thunderstorms. Tomorrow's high around 95. 94 a high yesterday with a low this morning of 60. Currently at the Weather Center, 89 degrees.
Talk Radio 1400 KRLN.
We are back with Right Time Radio, and once again, we'd like to thank Fremont Regional Hospice for sponsoring this show. We really appreciate you guys letting us be on the air. And now we have got such a special treat. Jean has been so sweet, and she has brought a book that is not out yet.
Right.
And she's sharing it with us today, and I'm just so excited to hear this. It's so cute. The illustrations are darling. I wish you guys could see it, but, you know, it's like smell-o-vision. It just doesn't exist yet. Tom, did you want to say anything before we go into Jean? We're good?
Nope.
Right? Go on into it? All right, Jean, take it away.
Okay. This one is Zuggy the Rescue Pug, Bellyache Blues. There was barking all around. The news was very sad. A little dog named Poppy. She was feeling worse than bad. Zuggy liked Poppy. Their humans were friends. He and Mom would stop by to check in now and then. Poppy lay on her pillow. She opened one eye. "How are you?" asked Zuggy. A groan was her reply. Poppy mumbled weakly, "I think that I might die. My belly hurts so bad." She began to cry. Zuggy wondered what to do. He wondered what to say. Poppy's friends were struggling. They didn't know the way. It was hard for everyone when she was feeling down, but those that prayed with her had always stuck around. Zuggy sat beside Poppy. "Do you want to pray?" Poppy laid down her head. "No thanks, not today." Zuggy paced back and forth across the kitchen floor. Mom said her goodbyes and headed toward the door. "We're leaving now, Poppy, but we'll be back again soon. Feel better so you can be out chasing raccoons." Poppy loved chasing coons and birds, cats, and bunnies. Anything in the yard would get a run for its money. But since her last procedure, she was tired and weary. The meds tasted awful and made her feel dreary. Some friends had left her, but not Zuggy the pug. The next time she saw him, she'd give him a hug. Zuggy barked to the neighbors on their way back. He gave the update. She had another attack. "Poppy is always sick," he heard one dog say. "I don't know why her humans don't give her away." Zuggy growled and thought, "I've heard this before. That dog is so wrong." He refused to hear more. Instead, he sent a message to her good friend Maggie Sue. "Remember when you lost your bone and Poppy found it for you?" Then he said to Lenny, "Has her friendship not been true? Last year when you broke your paw, she stuck to you like glue. She didn't laugh or point or call you names like Peg. She stood by your side, even helped you lift your leg." Zuggy reminded Duke, "When you were new in town, Poppy was your first friend and showed you all around." Last he turned to Pepper, and not so long ago, she defended you from your feathered foe. When that bird was mocking you and tweeting like a clown, Poppy snatched it from thin air and gobbled it right down. Even if she wasn't such a noble gal, Poppy's not doing well, and she needs a pal. We all have our stories, some happy, some blue, but God gives us friends to help us get through. Everyone agreed there'd be no delay. They'd gather gifts for Poppy and go the next day. They dug up spring flowers from Zuggy's front yard, blew up balloons, and made a paw-printed card. The dogs got together bright and early on Sunday. They marched straight to Poppy's, Zuggy leading the way. They were so excited, Zuggy tapped at the door, but no one answered. He tapped a couple times more. Lenny peeked in the window, raised his head to full height. He scanned the front room. There was no one in sight. Duke started sniffing. It doesn't smell like they're here. Maggie's Sue worried. Where could she be, the poor dear? Left behind on the lawn was a double skateboard. What luck, Zuggy smiled. I think we just scored. Dogs are not made to skate. Lenny shifted away. Zuggy comforted his friend. Well, we are today. Let's go, said Zuggy. The pack followed his lead. Piled onto the skateboard, they raced with great speed. Down the sidewalks and streets, heading due north, through a flurry of traffic, they weaved back and forth. Hang on, Zuggy warned. As they took a wide turn, woohoo, shouted Pepper as skate wheels churned. They arrived at the vet. Mom was already there. She whispered to Zuggy, she's in critical care. Poppy's human got up from the hard wooden chair. She paced back and forth, raked her hands through her hair. They all sat and waited for Poppy to come out. Would she be okay? There was an unsettling doubt. Poppy's human and Mom held hands as they prayed. Please hear us, dear Lord. Let Poppy be okay. While no one was looking, Zuggy snuck down the hall. Psst, hey guys, over here, Lenny heard Zuggy call. Where are you going? Whispered Maggie Sue. Let's go look for Poppy. I heard she's in room 2. But we can't read numbers, Duke lowered his snout. No problem, said Zuggy. That's how you'll help us out. Just use your big sniffer and there won't be a fuss. We'll be back in the lobby before they miss us. Over here, said Big Duke. They all gathered to see. I'm so nervous, said Lenny. I need to pee. Zuggy pushed on the door. It opened with a creak, just a few inches, so they could all get a peek. It was not Poppy's room, but a room full of kittens. They were zipping around like fast furry mittens. Close the door, Zuggy heard Lenny say, but it was too late. They were charging his way. The mountain of kittens bounded out of the room. They scampered down the hall. Meows echoed and boomed. What should we do? Said Duke over the noise. Zuggy called back to them, quick, go find some toys. Maggie Sue was on it. She found jingle bells. Let's get them collected before they can tell. Here, kitty, kitty, the dogs murmured and cooed, but the kitties ignored them. They could really be rude. Listen up, kitties, Zuggy started to speak. We're going to play a game of hide and go seek. That got their attention. They all gathered round, and we have one dog that can never be found. Duke is our ringer, Zuggy said with a wink. Now close all your eyes. He'll be gone in a blink. Duke is so big, we'll find him with ease. Don't argue, said Zuggy. Just close your eyes, please. While they counted to 10, Zuggy pulled Duke aside. Go back to their room. Find a good place to hide. As they wandered back in, Maggie Sue gave them treats. They finally found Duke and had plenty to eat. The dogs hustled out, the door shut tightly behind. They ran back to the lobby in just the nick of time. The door opened wide. To the vet they all swarmed. In his arms he held Poppy. She looked safe and warm. What is this? Asked the vet. You've got a fan club. He set Poppy down and gave her a rub. She can go home now, but she's not out of the woods. She must take all her meds and rest up real good. To see all her friends made Poppy so happy. She hugged every one, even though that seemed sappy. Thank you for being here. The gifts are nice too, but having you close makes me feel not so blue. We're glad you feel better. Let's get out of this place. They escorted her out with a smile on her face. The love of a friend is a truly great gift. God sends special angels to give us a lift.
Aw.
Yeah.
And Jean, there's a reason why you wrote this about a sick dog. Tell us about that.
So I have been volunteering at the Children's Hospital up in Denver, bringing Zuggy books with stuffed animals and donating them and doing readings. And it just touched me how brave they are, and especially over the holidays, how hard that is to be in the hospital. And I know that bellyaches affect kids at any level, right? Whether you're in a hospital or not, the bellyache seems to be the universal problem. Yeah. I have a very good friend who has Crohn's. My sister-in-law has colitis, and I wrote it for everybody who has suffered with this, yes. and hope it touches. Right. Hope it touches people.
Well, it did.
It's a good story to bring to the hospital and read. And
I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping to partner with them in some way at events with the Children's Hospital and possibly the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. I know they have events, and if it can be sold there and we split the profits, I'm working on that now. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody will hear about it on the radio. And
that's what I was thinking, too.
That would be
That's
wonderful.
amazing. We just lost somebody very popular here at Stately Farms that had Crohn's disease. So he was very young. So that's perfect. Yes.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And it will find its place. I'm confident it will find its place.
So, if that does touch you, or you feel like you have some kids that need to hear that story, give us an email at righttimeradio@gmail.com, WRITE, and we'll get you in touch with Jean.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Well, those I hope y'all enjoyed as much as we did the adventures of Zuggy the Pug. So you want to find Jean Marie Alfieri's works. They're available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
Right.
So
and her website.
Yes, and before we tell you what is happening next week here at Right Time Radio, I just want to say that our very own co-host here, Lynn Donovan, has just released 2 weeks ago a new book called Heard the Music.
Woo-hoo!
And it is part of the Bride Herder series. I think we might have mentioned that when it came out, but what we didn't tell you was what the Bride Herder series is about, and it's really a crack up. Lynn is primarily a romance writer.
Yes, I am.
But this particular series is called the Bride Herder series, Bride Herder. Right. And the whole concept of it is really a crack up. Yes. I'm going to tell a little bit and you can fill it in. Because so I've gotten to review a few of these. In fact, the one that just heard the music is about a deaf girl who is matched with kind of a cowboy. Kind of. I won't give away what it really is. And then, but the concept of the whole series is this rancher has lost his ranch. He went out of business.
Correct.
And so on the day he loses his ranch, he inherits a matchmaking business from his aunt.
Correct.
And that he figures, well, one business is just like another, and he can just breed these women just like he breeds cattle.
Creatures are creatures.
And how does that work out for him?
Not real well. So it's just a comedy of errors. The whole premise is like you say, it's very funny, and of course we've turned it. It's like a mail order bride done in a different way, definitely.
Yeah, and it's not mail order exactly like
no. Matchmaking's totally different from mail order brides.
Yes, but his aunt didn't tell him which all these brides are on the way to get matched.
That's right. He has no idea.
And he doesn't know who to match who with what.
He moves into his aunt's house, and that night he gets a notification from the depot that his aunt has a delivery because she has died, and he thinks it's supplies, and so he hooks up the wagon and goes to the depot and finds 10 women waiting.
So this takes place in the 1800s as well.
Yes, it's like 1889, something like that.
Why don't they do that anymore?
I think they go to bars. I don't know.
Anyway, it's a pretty funny series, and it's very romantic. Also, I got to review the first one.
Yeah, it is. It's a real sweet story. Actually, she has a dog named Dumplin.
Nice.
That is her companion dog.
Yeah.
Back when they didn't really have service dogs yet. But her father was very future-looking, and he worked with the university where they were and got them to train the dog so that it alerted her whenever there was her voice called, the rooster crowed in the morning, or if there was something dangerous, he would stand in front of her and keep her from walking out in the street or something like that. Yeah.
Nice. So you can find that where?
Amazon.com.
And that's exclusive to Amazon, I believe, right?
It is exclusive. And if you're a KU reader, it's available for you for free.
Hey, how about that?
Nice.
Free is good.
Free is good.
All right. So, check that out. It's a fun series.
It is.
And she's Lynn and I are working on a couple other series. We're not going to talk about those now because there's quite a ways before those are released.
True.
But Jean, you did such a great job on the show today, Miss Jean Marie.
Thank you for the opportunity. This was a pleasure.
Well, our pleasure. Such a good job that you're going to get a free Papa's pizza. You're going to come over to Papa's afterwards, and we're going to chow down. And I'm going to recommend the Southwest sausage because that's got Pueblo green chilies and garlic.
And if you don't know where Papa's is, it's in Florence.
Yes, that's Florence, Colorado, right across from the Rialto, catty corner to the Rialto. And there's lots of fun stuff going on there this weekend. And we're going to be... anyway, let's wrap up. Right Time Radio will be on again next week at 10 o'clock. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
This has been 1400 KRLN. Thanks for listening today.